Archaeologists have discovered a huge ancient city hidden underground in Mexico.
A PhD student has accidentally uncovered a lost city in Mexico centuries after it disappeared under jungle canopy.
Reportedly, experts found ancient pyramids, sports fields, causeways, and even amphitheaters, all part of a vast, forgotten civilization.
It's so interesting here. What do experts think this tech can be used for? Are there other, lost cities out there that they could maybe find? What's the sense?
Yes, exactly that, Hallie. They think that there might be other finds exactly like what we're reporting on right now, especially in places like the Amazon. And of course, we know how densely wooded that is, that amazing Amazon rainforest. And so this kind of technology can really allow them to map out an area that has just in general been hard to access before, Hallie.
And technology is making these kinds of searches, this kind of thing easier for researchers, obviously, as you laid out there.
Yes, in so many ways. And I actually had a really long conversation with a professor just now. His name is Francisco Estradabelli, and he is not only a member of that same team that made this discovery, he actually taught Luke, who we, of course, interviewed in this story. And he gave me some interesting stats that I want to lay out for you, Hallie, that explain how LiDAR, which has been around for a while and only recently became commercially available for archaeologists like this team, is really making things so much easier for these archaeologists, because normally they would have to cut trails through these dense wooded areas, and they wouldn't even really know what they were going to.
And based on the architecture, they think it was founded before the year 150. The Maya had hundreds of cities across Central America in its heyday, around 250 to 900 CE. But then the civilization collapsed and cities turned to jungles. Today, tourists from around the world flock to the Yucatan Peninsula to see the remnants, wonders like Chichen Itza, Tulum, Coba. And now LiDAR, the same remote sensing technique used in self-driving cars and other robotics, is helping to discover more hidden cities like Axiotal in Guatemala.
It shows peeling away the points that represent vegetation to show buildings underneath.
And now Valeriana, showing us just how urban the Mayas were and how quickly things can change.
Maya civilization captures the imagination because it was populous and urbanized and complex. What may seem like, a giant thriving city that's always going to be there can actually end up being covered by jungle in the space of 200 years.
The new findings inspiring researchers to keep digging.
But the breakthrough came completely by accident. A happy accident. This discovery was just a matter of chance. As per reports, a PhD student from a Louisiana university was digging deep into Google search results when he stumbled upon a laser survey that a Mexican environmental group had conducted. And when he processed the data with methods used by archaeologists, the hidden city was found, reportedly stretching across a site as large as the size of Scottish capital.
However, thanks to modern technology, including radar, archaeologists are now able to uncover the civilizations in their native North and Central American countries.
We found over 6,000 ancient buildings, as well as lots of reservoirs, causeways, plazas, pyramid complexes, palaces, the full spectrum of what you would expect as an expert to find in an ancient Maya city was present in this data set, and none of it was previously known to scientists.
More than 6,000 ancient buildings tied to the Mayas revealed their way of life, pyramids and plazas, even a court for ball games.
All of the hallmarks of a lowland Maya political capital from about 1,000 years ago.
Now, we don't have any pictures of Valeriana. That's because no one's been there for hundreds of years. So we thought we'd show you what it might have looked like here in this virtual studio. This is a Mayan pyramid temple, similar to the ones that would have been found in the city. People worshipped here, brought riches like jade masks, and even buried the dead. In total, the team found almost 7,000 buildings in an area of the jungle about the size of Edinburgh.
I was delighted to find that the survey had in fact mapped lots of ancient Maya ruins previously completely unknown to the scientific community. It would have been a very colorful, very lush, and I think very striking environment to move through. Things like palaces and temple pyramids. All of those would have been covered in lime plaster and then painted red, pink, and yellow and black There would have been clusters of buildings where people mostly spend their time making ceramics or mostly spend their time shaping stone tools. This part of the world, there's some evidence for marketplaces.
It took centuries, but war, climate change, and the Spanish invasion caused the collapse of the Mayans. But their descendants still live in Campeche today, and at the new site, just 15 minutes from a busy road, their ancient relatives lie beneath their feet.
Well, Rihanna's discovery is a reminder that there are many parts of the world that remain hidden in plain sight, and there are many mysteries yet to be unlocked.
Now, technology is helping archaeologists to uncover ancient civilizations in the North and Central American jungles.
Yeah, the distinctive Mayan temples and cities are now being explored using radar, and that's helping scientists to understand more about the communities who lived there.
Now, this is quite a discovery. Fragments of a biblical scroll, along with other relics, have been found in desert caves in Israel. Dozens of pieces of parchment were written in Greek, with just the name of God appearing in Hebrew.
Deep in the Judean desert, close to the Dead Sea, are caves once used by 2nd century Jewish rebels. They'd gone into hiding following a failed revolt against Roman rule. Barely accessible, except by abseiling down to them, dozens died here. But hidden with them were biblical treasures, the like of which Israel has not seen in over half a century. That is, until now. Israeli archaeologists working to prevent caves in the area from being looted filmed the moment of their discovery. Amazing, amazing, one says. 3 lines. This is exciting. They'd found ancient verses from the books of the prophets Zechariah and Nahum in the Hebrew Bible. Likely written down in the centuries either side of the birth of Christ, the Israeli authorities said the scriptures were of immeasurable worth for humanity.
For the first time in over 60 years, we have fragments of a biblical book that were discovered in an archaeological excavation. It's important also because this is the first time when such fragments are found in an excavation and brought straight here to our laboratory.
The parchment had been written in Greek, the language adopted after the conquest of Judea by Alexander the Great. The name of God, though, exclusively appears in Hebrew. Written at a time when the Jews were returning from Babylonian captivity, Zechariah writes of what is to come, from the rebuilding of the temple and Jerusalem to a coming messianic king.
So the book of Zechariah has 2 figures, a priest and a king, who work together to bring about a new holy state. And therefore it's a very important book which is quoted in the New Testament.
Searches of the cliffs and caves in the Judean desert have yielded a treasure trove of finds over decades. The archaeologists involved say they hope to keep going, with the hope of more discoveries to come.